Hi, I'm Paul. If you're considering buying your first digital camera or your first mirrorless camera or a Fujifilm camera for the first time, I thought I'd create just a short video, which we'll see how that goes. But yesterday I was watching some YouTube videos and I came across the content creator. The name of his channel is the Everything Man, and he did a really good job describing the Fujifilm X-T30 version 2 versus the Fujifilm X100V, which that camera cannot have an interchangeable lens. It comes with, I believe, a 23 millimeter or a 27 millimeter lens on it, and it's permanent. You can't change it. So I thought I'd do a video about the X-T30, the version 2, which I've owned for almost 2 years now. This is a great little camera, so I love the pictures that it takes. So what I'm going to do is just go over some of the features and some of the options. I'll give you some options for lenses at the end of the video. So if you'll notice on the front of the camera, this is the version 2, but they're using the same camera body as the version 1. And the only way to tell the difference is on the bottom plate. You'll see where it has the Roman numeral 2 next to the where it says X-T30. So the what I like about this camera, so I own a Fuji X-T3 and 2 X-T4s and 3 Nikon cameras, but they're the older DSLRs. They're not the mirrorless. So this is a crop sensor camera, which means the sensor is a little bit smaller than a full frame. So this is what they call an APSC. It's Advanced Photo System Type C, or a crop sensor. The sensor size is 23.5 millimeters by 15.6 millimeters. A full frame is 36 millimeters approximately by 24 millimeters. This has a 26.1 million pixels. This is the same sensor that's in the X-T4, the Fujifilm X-T4 cameras. It has the X-Trans CMOS 4 processor, so that's the same. This is an X mount. Fuji, actually Fujifilm doesn't even make a full frame. They have a medium format, so they skipped full frame. Medium format sensor is much larger than a full frame. This only weighs 378 grams or 13.5 ounces with the battery and the memory card in it. So you put the battery, it goes in the bottom. Same with the memory card. The memory card is right here, and you just push on it and it pops out. This is the same battery that my Fujifilm X-T3 uses, and the X-T4s and X-T5 have a larger battery size. So it only has one card slot. But the advantage of this camera is that it's lightweight. So this is my Fuji X-T4. So it's a much larger and it's a heavier camera. Still has the kind of cool retro dials on the X-T30, not as many as the X-T4, but this the X-T4, it's much heavier camera. So when I take this camera with me to work, and it's just nice. It's just a nice lightweight camera to carry around doing street photography. So it does have a touch screen LCD on the back, and it tilts out. It doesn't flip out, which is okay because you can tilt it down, and you can hold it over your head if you want to get it higher up, and you can still see the screen. It does have a built-in flash. Just press this little button and the flash pops up. But you can also mount an external flash on the hot shoe. It has face and eye detection. It has a self timer, so if you want to take pictures and you want to have a delay before the shutter releases, you can do that. There is no in-body stabilization, what they normally call IBIS. I have IBIS on my X-T4s, and I don't believe I've ever used it, at least not for taking still photography. Might come in handy if you're walking and you're recording a video, but for still photography, I don't see that it's not necessary. This is not weatherproof / waterproof, but I take it out when it's rainy out, and not in a downpour, but I've never had any problems if it gets a little bit damp, whether it's rain or snow. The processor in this camera is the X4 processor, which is the same as the X-T4. Fujifilm X-T5 has the X5 processor. So this will hold SD cards, SDHC cards, and SDXC cards, which those go up to 2 terabyte. I usually have either a 64, 128, or 256 megabyte memory cards in my cameras. You can shoot RAW or JPEG, or RAW and JPEG at the same time. You can take both pictures. RAW file just means it's not processing the image. It's just the light coming in through the lens and hitting the sensor. Most of the time I shoot RAW. Sometimes I do JPEG. It does have 18 Fujifilm simulations. So that's only in JPEG mode. So they mimic the old Fujifilm regular film that went into film cameras. The ISO sensitivity in the standard mode is 160 to 12,800. In the extended mode, it will go from 80 to 5,200. I usually don't go beyond 1,600, 3,200 at the most. Otherwise, you're going to get some film grain in the image. Although, if you're using something like Photoshop, that you can clean up the image. And now, a lot of times, if you have that film grain, if you don't want it in there, once you run it through Photoshop, you can't even see it. It's but that's just personal preference. This will continuously shoot up to 8 frames a second with the mechanical shutter. The electronic if we're for continuous shooting with the mechanical shutter, you can shoot up to 1/4 or as fast as 1/4000th of a second, or you can leave the shutter open for 60 minutes. With the electronic shutter, it'll shoot as fast as 1/32,000th of a second, or you can leave the shutter open for 15 minutes. In movie mode, the ISO is 160 to 12,800. Again, I don't know why you would go up that high. Right now, I'm recording this on my X-T30 camera, and I believe, if I remember right, I have the ISO at 400. In the extended mode for recording video, you can have it up to 25,600. So this will record in either MOV, which is Apple QuickTime's format, or an MP4 image, and it does 4K or full HD 1920 by 1080p. The recording frames per second is 23.98, 24, 25, 29.97, and 59.94 frames a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting the links for the Everything Man, his video. There's 2 links. You can either go into YouTube and drop the link in, or just do it from your browser. There's another link. The price, so this is the 18th of December 2023, and I checked on the price of the X-T30. Just the body is $899. I would not buy it. I would not suggest buying it with a kit lens. The kit lens is a zoom lens. I believe it's 17 or 18 millimeters to 50 millimeters, and the aperture will go from anywhere from 2.8 to f2.8 to f4.0. So as you zoom, the aperture starts to get smaller and it'll let less light in. I've got an alternative for you, and that is the Sigma. I just bought this about a month or so ago. It's the Sigma 18 to 50 zoom lens, and it stays at f2.8 across the entire range from 18 millimeters to 50 millimeters. It's a small, lightweight lens. If you decide to buy this lens for the camera, make sure when you're looking at the description, it says Fuji X mount, because if it doesn't, because they make it for Sony, Panasonic, and Nikon, and maybe a few others. So this is what it will look like with the lens on it. This lens takes beautiful pictures. It's still lightweight. I'm going to give you some other alternatives. So the other thing is the flash. So if you want to buy the external flash, and I think this flash cost, I didn't look it up, but I think it was $300 or so. So it just mounts on this hot shoe. It just slips in. So, and it goes up like that. This comes off the front. This is just a diffuser. Doesn't come off easily. Oh, now it's going to be really difficult. So that comes off if you want, but you would probably, more than likely, you'd want to use it with a diffuser. There's some other options for the lenses, which I really like. There's 2. Both of them are Fuji's. So this is the Fuji 27 millimeter Pancake lens, and it's f2.8. And it makes this camera even more of a street photography camera. And this is what it looks like. It's just a low profile camera. And this is similar to what the Fuji X100V would look like, except the difference is you can't take the lens off of the 100V. So with the X-T30, you can actually even, I have Nikon lenses. There's actually an adapter made by Fringer that I did a video on that you can mount on your Nikon cameras. And if you've got, I believe Canon, they make an adapter for Canon and for Nikon. So you could use your Nikon lenses or Canon lenses on your Fuji cameras. Another lens that's really nice, and it's a wide angle. This is the Fujifilm 16 millimeter. and it's a very lightweight lens. So if you want a wide angle, you can, and it's f2.8. So still a lightweight, low profile, kind of low profile lens. And you can take several hundred pictures with this small battery that's in here. The record time for video is 30 minutes. So you probably get at least 30 minutes out of one of these batteries recording video. So what you want to do is buy extra batteries. So you can either buy the Fujifilm batteries, but they're going to be a little more expensive. I do have third-party batteries that I purchased. I'm going to put the description. I actually bought, it was a battery charger, and that came with 2 additional third-party batteries. There's also a wrist strap that I like. And I'm going to put all this information in the description. They're not links. You're just the search terms, because I don't have affiliate links. So this is a quick disconnect strap. So you just take this little part right here. Just goes through the little attachments that's on the side of the each side of the camera. And then the strap, it just has a quick disconnect. So you can just put it around your wrist. This didn't cost that much. I think it was like $20 or so. And then there's the shutter button. This little button right there. That does not come with the camera. So it has a little, the shutter has actually, it's threaded underneath this button, so you can connect a mechanical shutter release to it. But you can also buy a shutter release that will plug into the side of the camera. So there's a mini HDMI and then a smaller USB if you want to connect to a computer. So you can also, I do have a shutter release that just plugs into the side. So yeah, I'm going to put everything in the description of this video that you can find: the lenses, the camera body, the third-party batteries, the wrist strap, the shutter button. You can purchase the X-T30 either off of Amazon, B&H Photo, or Adorama. If you find one that's refurbished, preferably refurbished by Fujifilm, you could save yourself probably $100 or so with that. I'm not affiliated with any of these companies, any of these camera companies, Amazon, Fuji. I don't make any money from this. I'm just doing this as just to share information and to make another video. I'm also going to put a link in the description that will take you to Fujifilm's Fujifilm USA, their website, and you can see the specs as on their site for the X-T30, and then you can look. They've got specs for all the other cameras also, and then a link to Adobe, an Adobe site that explains the difference between the full frame and APS-C sensors. Probably years ago, there was a big difference, but now I have 4 Fujifilm cameras, all APS-C. I have 3. One time I did have an additional 2 Nikon cameras. They were Nikon D5500s. Those were APS-C. I have a Nikon D5600 and 7500. Those are both APS-C. And I have one Nikon D750, which is a full frame, which I very rarely ever use. So, yeah, I hope this helps with your decision making. I love this camera. It is absolutely an excellent camera for just walking around. And it does have the little retro dials on top. And I couldn't be happier with it. So thanks for watching. Hope this helped you out.